Before we get started, here's a disclaimer because I don't want any confusion. If you don't understand anything from this video, then it's just your ignorance that's not allowing you to understand. I am making this video on the topic of why a lot of black people in the K-pop fandoms and different type of fandoms, black people in general, are upset about the new Arirang BTS trailer that just recently dropped. Maybe I think 2 or 3 days ago. I'm not sure. I'll put it down here. I like to have my receipts every time I'm doing these type of videos. During the duration of this video, I may be in and out. Like I might be over here, I might pop in here. The camera might cut and I'm writing your face. As I'm making this video, I'm looking at my notes because I'm not about to play with none of y'all. I don't have time for anybody to be like, oh, it's not that serious when it in fact is that serious. I'm looking at my notes because I don't have for you time for people to be like, you're just making that up. You're going based off of feelings. No, I got evidence and historical facts to back me up. All right, so let's get this video started. Welcome back to Omo Dada's YouTube channel. My name's Christine. Some of y'all might not even know that. I don't even think I've mentioned my actual name on this channel, but Omo Dada is my name also. I'm not going to get into detail about that because that's not the purpose of this video. We're going to be talking about why a lot of people are upset with BTS's new trailer. Let's go and look at history. In 1896, man, I feel so like... funny doing this. In 1896, 7 Korean students came to Howard University, a historically black college, an HBCU. Emphasis on historically black. Okay, get it in your head. A historically black college. Keep that in mind, historically black college, to create the first ever recording of Arirang, a Korean folk song. The main purpose of this video is not to talk about Arirang or the history of it, but you can do your own research about it if you want to. I am talking about why people are upset. Again, just to remind you so you're not confused about why I'm not going into more detail about it. In the video, in the animation, the picture that is shown, first off, I'm getting ahead of myself. At the beginning of the video, they put a disclaimer saying everything in the video is not going to be exactly how it was in history. They put that disclaimer there. Cool. That's okay. That's all right. Some of you might be like, oh, it's not a big deal. This is a very big deal because, like I said, HBCU, historically black college. In this animation, there are only 2 black people in the video. Only 2 black people. And that's a big thing because why are there so many white people on a historically black campus, considering what was going on around that time? We're going to go back a couple of years in history so that this makes sense for you guys and you guys can do your research. As I am saying these things, do not take my word for it. Go and do your own research for yourself so you can understand the topic on your own, even though you should learn about these things in middle school or high school or college. In 1865, the Civil War had ended. Some of you might have questions because I know I have people that aren't in America that watch my videos. What was the Civil War? Why did it happen? What is the Civil War, just basically in general? The Civil War took place because they couldn't decide what to do with the black people. People were fighting over the rights of black people, if they should have rights or not. Freed and enslaved black people. That's literally what the war was about. And saying that is actually like, it's so crazy because why are you going to war amongst yourselves over the rights of other human beings? Because one side feels like they should have rights and the other side feels like they shouldn't. That's crazy. 1865. Okay, I'm going to keep repeating these dates so you know, so you can do your own research. After the war ended, that's when we start getting into Jim Crow and the civil rights movements, and that lasts up until about 1965. 1965. Civil War ended in 1865. That's 100 years. 100 years of one part of history, only one part of history where black people were fighting for their rights and to be respected as basic human beings. Only one part of history though, and only in one country, in the United States. In one country. Black history is actually so crazy. Human beings were and are still being treated like this because you look at what's going on in Egypt and that's not the conversation for now. A lot of people love to be like, slavery was such a long time ago. 1965 was not that long ago. I was born in 2002. 1965 was like 37 years before I was born. That's really not a long time. And I'm pretty sure people were in the 90s saying, oh, slavery was such a long time ago. 1965 was 30 years ago from 1990. About 30 years ago from 1990. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. You get the message, you see the picture. That's what I was saying. Black people are having this fight of their rights from 1865 to 1965. And we go in 1896, where the seven Korean students go to Howard University, a historically black college. Historically black college. We're going to talk about racism in the education system. A very famous case, Brown versus the Board of Education, a case that lasted 2 years from December 1952 to May of 1954. The case was about racial segregation in public schools and how it should be declared unconstitutional and how it violated the 14th Amendment. White people wanted to, proclaim their whites' power. So they would make it hard for black kids to get access to education. They would do everything in their power. Every system in the United States is built against black people. When black people find their way into these spaces that were white dominated, white people would be like, oh, let me make it harder for them and start terrorizing them, start bullying them, start harassing them, provoking them, doing all these things so they could get kicked out of school, lose funding, and all these things. That's why a lot of black institutions are low funded, not just colleges, but like a lot of black educational institutions have a lot of issues within them because of all these things that happened many years ago, all because white people didn't want black people to have the same knowledge that they had. And I say all that because historically black colleges were started so black people could have a place where they could study, can get access to education and move up in life. You're living in America, the system is working against you because you're black, so you got to work 2 times, actually not even 2 times, you got to work 10 times harder to get to the same level as a white person in America. We have these institutions made for black people where they can achieve the same goals as white people. Let me also emphasize that these institutions were predominantly black. Predominantly black. This picture, they gave the disclaimer that it's not going to be exactly historically accurate, but only two black people. Only two black people. And then this other picture, white people would not even really be on the campus unless they were harassing the black students. Civil War ended 1865, rolled into civil rights and Jim Crow. That lasted about 100 years, 1965. 7 Korean students came to Howard University, 1896. Jim Crow, civil rights movements. And that's all I have to say on the matter and the topic. It is that big of a deal. Because a lot of black history is getting wiped away or whitewashed. This is literally whitewashing. This is literally what whitewashing looks like. And I don't know who was behind the team behind this. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to do this. And of course, the fans don't see a problem with it. They're always going to follow like a cult. They're always going to move like a cult. I think 2019 or even prior to that, where all these racist attacks would be held against black people in different K-pop fandoms just for like being black. Or somebody black would get a light shined on them in these spaces, and people would just racially attack these people. It is that deep. Don't whitewash Black History. Black History Month just ended. We're in the 100th anniversary of Black History Month this year. Don't whitewash Black history. That's all I have to say. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This was a really calm video. I'm so proud of myself because I wasn't doing all that shouting and yelling as I usually do. Like, comment, subscribe. Do your own research so you can understand the things that were talked about in this video. God bless you. Subscribe. Stop whitewashing Black history and respect Black people.